Hi, this is Rick Rogers from Warriors Respite. Warriors Respite's my new startup company, and also my podcast. Basically, we're a mental health company. We're trying to change the world. We're trying to make it a better place. Content through podcasts, through YouTube videos. You can find me on YouTube, Warriors Respite, Richard L. Rogers, MSW, LCSW. Rogers with a D, so RODGERS. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, Richard Rogers, Warriors Respite, or Warriors Respite, Richard Rogers. Oftentimes I have Warriors Respite in parentheses. And YouTube, I recently did a yoga video this last week, and I looked out of shape with that, and maybe that made you feel better if you've never done yoga before. So it'll be a fun experience to keep building on that. Of course, I'd be remiss if I wasn't human and I didn't have my own stuff to work on, and my weight's definitely that thing I need to work on. But if you're looking for counseling, I'm in Illinois and Indiana. I specialize in addictions and trauma. I work with adolescents. I work with adults. I work with geriatric. I work with just about anybody. I work with couples. I've done, been doing really good stuff with couples therapy, especially with communication type stuff. And soon I should be in Nevada and Arizona for video sessions. So if you're in Nevada and Arizona, heck yeah, let's do some healing. So today, I just want to kind of just answer questions about mental health. I'm just searching online for mental health questions, and I'm just going to talk on them. If you have anything that you want me to cover, if you're my patient, just message me. Or you can message me on, if you're not my patient, you can message me on Twitter. You can message me on Facebook, Instagram. You can DM me. You can leave a message, whatever is in your heart's content. Okay. Let me just... Alright, so I'm just kind of on core here, just reading mental health questions. And one question it says is, what can I start doing today to improve my overall mental health? Well, number one, I think the best thing you can do to improve your overall mental health is, if you don't have any disability or something like that, is go for a daily walk. And it's not just walking, it's being mindful. You're getting in your exercise. You're getting in your steps. Steps are important exercise. Something I was doing for a while, and then I stopped doing, and I need to do again and improve my overall mental health. While you're walking, build your awareness. Build your mindfulness and grounding techniques. Use your 5 senses. Feel the wind. It's getting fall out there. Feel the cool air on your skin. Just notice, without judgment, the cool air on your skin. Notice it's hoodie season. I'm wearing a hoodie, my Death Note hoodie, my favorite one. Feel the shoes pounding on the ground. Listen to the birds chirp. Maybe you're drinking your morning cup of joe while you're doing it. Bravo 119. That was my basic training in the Army. And I've had this mug for 22 years. Can you believe that? 22 years me in this mug since Fort Benning, Georgia. Maybe I'm the type of person that likes to put one earbud in because I want to hear what's going on around me and never know. But yeah, smell. You're smelling the fresh air, the nature, whatever that comes with it. Okay, so I think going for a walk and being mindful is a great way to improve your mental health. If you're feeling down and stressed and want to improve your mental health, next thing you can do is see a counselor. I'm not sure if this question is what can you do for your mental health without seeing a counselor. But I'm just going to add that in. You could take the advice if you want or not. But seeing a counselor, or it doesn't even have to be a counselor, but if you don't have anybody you can talk to, co-regulation is important. So co-regulation is like being able to talk out my feelings, talk out my stress with somebody. And a lot of people, which is probably irrational and probably not true, have some kind of fear that people are burdened by them, so they won't talk to anybody. And maybe that's not true, but at least if you have a counselor, he can encourage you to open up to people that care about you. But also you can co-regulate with the counselor and work things out. So not even just a counselor, but having somebody you can work your crap out with is important. And the last thing you can do to improve your mental wellness is to do something you enjoy. Whether that be playing a video game, unless it's become like an addiction, but I like stuff like learning to play guitar, playing the guitar, like maybe playing games with your family, playing board game night, or something safe, sober, and happy that you enjoy. Maybe it's going to a concert. Maybe it's going to do things you enjoy. Okay, enjoy the fruits of your labor if you can swing it. So if you don't have a lot of money, what is it that you enjoy doing that you can afford, and that's meaningful and within your means, so there could be a lot of things, but like I said, like playing a musical instrument or writing or playing a game or watching your favorite show, or like a lot of times when people are depressed, they don't feel motivated to do what they enjoy. So what is it that you enjoy that you haven't been doing? Figure that out and take some time to do it. It's seems like common sense, but from our perspective, when I'm deep down in it, it doesn't seem so important to me at that time. There's a good question and answer on here I'd like to read, but I can't read the whole thing because apparently I need to buy a subscription to see the whole thing. But it says, what is a good way to have a good mindset? So I'm going to read some of what it says and analyze it. I can't read the whole thing, but I can read a good chunk of it. So no matter what, never hate anyone. How many people think that's easier said than done? It's very hard. People don't want to forgive people because they feel like if they forgive people and love them or like them, then they will be making light of them. They will be making their trauma okay if they hold on to their hate for them. So I do like this, and it's just, I think you need to do a lot of soul searching to get to that point. It's very hard to do. It's possible, but our inner psyche makes it very hard, and it takes a lot of work to get to that point for a lot of people. Some people, maybe not, because here's the thing, everybody's different. Always remember, nothing is permanent. Things will turn around someday. Believe that. Believe in the Shield. WWE. Yeah, I mean, for most part, I think it's important to analyze your thoughts. Ask yourself if this is permanent. Ask yourself if you're going to... Usually with situations, you're going to get out of it breathing and alive, and you're going to be able to react to it. I mean, this could be something like, I'm going to jail. I did something wrong. Okay, well, what can you learn from that situation? Take your licking. You're going to get out of jail breathing. Now you got to figure out, now you get an uphill battle because you got a felony or misdemeanor on your record. Now you got to figure out how to live your life with that barrier now. So just because you have a barrier, and that's a problem. People get these barriers and then they give up. And then they feel like there's no hope. That's bullcrap, because I've worked in the Bureau of Prisons, and I have seen people released from the Bureau of Prisons and become quite successful. Does that mean everybody can? I don't know. Maybe it takes some kind of privilege, but all I know is if you put in the work, you're going to be successful. If you put in the work towards what you're meant to do and what you want to do, you're going to be successful. It's just that you have to be willing to get your ass kicked for a little bit. Excuse my language, but I'm a combat veteran. I might cuss sometimes. Next one. Good one for me. I have a big problem with this one. Stop complaining. Complaining is simply giving yourself excuses for your inaction. And this is an old military pastime. Like, we complain about everything. But, like, there's times when I'm complaining personally that, like, I feel like crap about complaining. I know me complaining is hurting me and everybody around me. So that is something to think about. Like, Jocko Willing's got a good video. It's called Good. Look up Jocko Willing Good. I'm, a big, he's a Navy SEAL, retired Navy SEAL. But, like, learning to make, lemons into lemonade or whatever, or oranges into orange juice or whatever you want to call it. Like, you can, I think if you, sorry, I'm like mumbling. I'm trying to figure out what I want to say. I think if you get to the point where you can let go of your complaints and accept everything, like, it cleanses your soul. And that's definitely something I need to work on personally. Next one. Stop blaming everyone for your problems. They are your problems for a reason. You can complain for years. No one will solve them for you, or you could use a day or a week or a month to take care of that issue. That's a good one. Like, when it comes down to it, and this goes to codependency. Codependency for me is like, I'm unhappy and it's your fault, and no matter what you do, you can't make me happy, and you need to do something to make me happy now. And the other person's like, oh no, I am a failure because I can't make that other person happy. It's like two people not being responsible for their own emotions, not being accountable for their own emotions. So, yes, this is important. Like, you gotta let go of blaming anybody, and like, if you're blaming your parents and stuff like that, you have to let go of it because it's not serving you. Because the only person you're hurting is yourself. Like, that person that you're blaming, they're living their life. They're living their best life, and they're just taking up room in your head. So it doesn't matter if it's somebody else's fault. We all probably have a hand in all our negative situations, for the most part, as adults. Not everything, especially as kids. But even if you're holding on to something as a kid or an adult, it's like, there's nothing I can do about it. If there's nothing I can do about it, I need to let it go. If it's a problem I can solve, I need to solve it. That's it. If I call the police, whatever. If you feel like that's going to resolve that conflict you feel inside you. Number 5, be content with yourself and whatever you currently possess. Gratitude. Don't envy. Simply try to make your life better. Accept whatever your life circumstances are currently. Then, if you can change it, do so. So, I mean, like, for me, like, I want a better life. I want my kid to have college paid for, at least a bachelor's degree. I want, there are things I want, and there's things I will work for to attain. But sometimes, me personally, I get wrapped up on, how come these people get to have millions of dollars a mansion and live this comfy life while I'm out here struggling to the grind. But I think that gets all negated when you find your passion. If you find your passion, like, I'm a therapist, I love being a therapist, I've always wanted to be a therapist, and I get paid to be a therapist, I get paid to help people. So, like, I think that really helps me to, like, be grateful for where I'm at, because when I'm working, I'm doing something I really enjoy. So, be okay with where you're at in life, because focusing on the problem is not fixing the problem. It's just causing you to suffer. And then let go of expectations. Your kindness and goodness should come from a place of love and abundance. Give freely, and you will never be disappointed. So when expectations don't go our way, we get frustrated. and frustrated don't feel good, and then we carry around this frustrated. So I be okay with expectations not being met, so I like that. I do like this list. I wish I could read more, but I am not paying I'm not even starting a free trial, because those MFers will charge me. So I just want to talk about why mental health is important. There is this thing called the Dimensions of Wellness, and maybe I'll do a YouTube video on it. It's something that I worked on in my bachelor's degree, and I don't know why we don't use it in other professions. But I was a community health expert at that time, or expert. I had a degree in community health. I don't know. But the Dimensions of Wellness is something that carried with me because it just intrigued me how different dimensions of your wellness affect each other. So if I'm feeling, if I don't exercise, it affects my mental health. If I don't, if I don't manage my money well, that affects my mental health. That can affect my physical health. That can affect my, because, maybe I'm not getting the correct nutrition. There's emotional health, how does that affect me cognitively? How does me cognitively affect my mental health? Like all these different aspects and dimensions of our lives, our environment, that's important, so I think it's important to look at all these different aspects of your life and see what is going downhill, So if socially, maybe I'm recovering from alcohol or something like that, and socially I've been losing friends because I don't have a lot of people that don't drink that I hang out with, and I know if I drink, it's going to affect my marriage and make me lose my job and stuff like that. So if I'm going, if I'm starting to feel lonely because I don't have a lot of people around me that support my sobriety, then maybe I need to check out a meeting. Maybe I need to check out a 12-step meeting where I can find support. A lot of people don't want to do that, but you can do it online. There's no excuse. And here's the thing, I get people making excuses for not going to a support group and a meeting or whatever, and here's the thing, you found time to use, you found time to dwell on your problems and sit there and stare at a wall for an hour. You can find time to go to an online support group. You can find time to go to an addictions meeting. You can find time for your mental health. And I think we want to isolate from people because maybe we have this, with our trauma, we have a lack of trust with people, and, and it gets anxiety provoking. It's, whatever. But you have to work towards discomfort. You have to challenge yourself. Okay? You have to just chill and go with the flow. If you're not going with the flow, then you're fighting the process. Go with the flow of the process. Feel like shit when you need to feel like shit, but go with the flow. Just because you feel like shit doesn't mean you can't get up unmotivated and drag your bag of gym clothes to the car and blare some heavy metal music and while you're driving to the gym, because halfway through your workout you're gonna feel good about it, but if you're feeling depressed, don't stop doing what you need to do for your mental health. Just get up and go, and damn the feeling, and we get this idea of I don't have enough energy. I don't have enough energy to socialize. I don't have enough energy to go to the gym, blah, blah, blah. If your values, you think it's important to you to, and this is just an example, go to the gym or go to a family function or go to a meeting or go, whatever you're avoiding, if your value says, you need to do this, then kind of just, do it. And it's important to do it even though you don't feel like it, because it can change your mood. Don't steer away from the things that help you. Don't steer away from the things that make you happy, even though you don't feel like doing it. Just go through with it. And some days will be hard. Some days won't be hard. Some days will be easy. Some days you'll feel good. So go with it. You can do this. You're strong enough. I know there's enough in you. If you need help motivating, talk to somebody. Talk to me. Talk to a therapist. Talk to a friend. Co-regulate. Tell them, I want to go to the gym, but I'm too depressed. Sometimes you need someone to say, do it anyways, you little B word. Do it anyways, MFer. I know I'm a little rough around the edges. I like David Goggins. He's another Navy SEAL. He talks about, he sits and records his excuses for not doing something he knows is good for him. Like, he runs like 10 miles a day or something like that. So he'll sit there and record his excuses for not running 10 miles, and then he'll replay them back to himself, and then he'll call himself a little B, and then he'll get on his shoes and go for a run. Like, that's top notch right there. Like, that's a good one though, because it's kind of like, what would you tell your friend that was going through this? We don't take advice that we give. But, like, if you had a friend that knew going to the gym was important, and gym's just an example, and they know they should be going and they're looking for motivation to go, what are you going to tell them? You know what I mean? If they know that's going to help with complaining and self-pity and all that stuff, and depression and anxiety, if they know that's going to help them with that, what would you tell them? How would you help them? Help yourself the same way. That is the essence right there. Because I hear so many times, like, oh yeah, I tell my friend the same thing, but I don't do it myself. I hear it all the time. It's easier said than done, but if you can tell somebody else to do it, that means you're willing to do it. You know what I mean? Like for me, as a combat veteran, PTSD, when I tell my patients, or when I tell you in this podcast or in a YouTube video that this works, I'm doing it because it has worked for me. And not all of it worked for me. I'm doing it because it's something I have done or would do. But like it doesn't always work at first. Like, mindfulness took years for me to get a hold of. Grounding myself in the present moment and being non-judgmental at times, when I feel like I need to practice that, it took years to get down. Diffusing from my thoughts and not getting wrapped up in my thoughts and dwelling on them and going down that rabbit hole. It took years to get to that point. And I'd say it's not even perfect now, but like, I'm better than I was 5 years ago. And the only way you're going to get better at it is starting now. The best time to plant a tree is 5 years ago. The next best time is now. Make those decisions now. And some days you're just going to slump. Some days you're going to suck. Some days you're going to be on a diet and you're going to slip and eat a Krispy Kreme. Just because you eat that Krispy Kreme doesn't mean you need to stop. Like, get back on track. Count it as your calories and keep moving. So, the greatest athletes and the biggest successes in the world keep doing their craft. Keep doing what they need to do to get better at what they do, even though they don't feel like it. There are days they do not feel like it. There are days they don't want to do it. There are days the CEO doesn't want to get up and run the company, because that's a lot of responsibility and a lot of stress to be running a company. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you screw up, you can go to jail. Like, that's like, isn't that crazy? Like, some of these jobs, if you really accidentally screw up, you can go to jail. Like, that's crazy. And people are putting themselves in the position. That's a lot of responsibility. So, I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm just rambling at this point. Anyways, I think I've kind of like run out of steam, and I think I'm done talking now. I've run talking for about 25 minutes, and hopefully you guys got something out of it. And this has been really great. I'd like to get some people to interview and stuff like that. Maybe at some point we'll keep growing the podcast into something better. But for now, it's just me rambling and giving my thoughts. But again, like, if you have some ideas for a podcast or a episode, please be just like, don't be afraid to like message me or let me know. I'd love to, because this is like your time. This is your podcast. This is your time to like heal. So like, what do you need to heal? Let me know. Because your questions could be the same questions many other have or don't know they have. Maybe you're saying something that somebody else doesn't even realize they have, And I've been studying mental health for many years. Like, I've been studying different modalities. I've been piecing it all together, so I'm continuing to figure it out, and it's an ongoing thing, So, thanks for watching, and as always, stay mangled and strangled in peace, and I really appreciate you supporting Warriors Respite by getting this far and listening to this episode, and you know what? You have yourself a good weekend. It's Friday, NFL football, college football. You just chill, relax. If you need to work, just go with the flow, and have yourself a good weekend. Bye.